is Leah Busler. I've been doing speech and debate for 4 years now, and I'll be moving into my 5th year. And over the course of those 4 years, I've gathered some tips for you guys, and these 5 tips will be specifically for the event Monologue. So without further ado, let's jump straight into those tips. My first tip for you guys is beware of showing and telling. Now, what do I mean by showing and telling? Well, I mean, say you're talking about an event and you're saying, I opened the door and I went to my desk and I pulled something out from my dresser. The showing part of that would be pretending to open the door, walking to the dresser and pulling something out of it. Now, that can be a good technique and it can be a good source of blocking for monologues, but sometimes it can make it look a little too interrupy, and sometimes judges will read that as being an interrupt. So you just want to be aware and beware of showing and telling at the same time. Also, there's a part that you need to be aware of, as if you're reliving the story, you're not actually there. So if your characters were recalling an event in their character's past, they're not actually there. They're not actually at that event. They can mentally relive it and relive those emotions, but they shouldn't actually pretend to be there because they're not. So my second tip for you guys is to make every moment matter. Now, in the event Monologue, you only have 5 minutes to display characterization and a story and a message. Because there's only 5 minutes for you guys to do that, you need to make every single moment matter. Every single line and every single pause should propel your story plot line, should propel your story and your message forward. You shouldn't have any extraneous information. It should all have an important portion inside of your monologue. Now, my third tip for you guys is to leave room for pauses. I know it can be tempting to sort of just fill up all of that 5 minutes of time with as much dialogue as you can cram in there, but actually that probably isn't the most beneficial thing you can do. Pauses have a huge impact. Pauses can add an emotion or add a feeling to a certain line, and it can give it some weight and some impact. So you really want to use pauses wisely. Because of that, you don't want to fill up all of your time with all the possible words you could have. This ties directly with that last tip of making every single moment matter. Get rid of extraneous lines, get rid of extraneous information, and only keep what's necessary. And you need to leave room for pauses even though your speech is only 5 minutes long. My fourth tip for you guys is to have a clear message. Now, from the monologues I've seen last year, some of them were really entertaining and they were a blast to watch, but there wasn't a takeaway from watching that monologue. From the experience and from what I've seen, the monologues that have a message and have an impact and a takeaway for the audience succeeded. Everybody who's watching something wants to have a takeaway. They want something that they can learn from the piece. And if you give your audience members that, the odds are you're going to rank higher or you're going to have more of an impact on the judges. Now, my final tip for you guys is to focus on characterization. The event Monologue is not about crazy blocking, but it's about developing your characterization and developing that character. But you see, you have to have room for characterization to develop. The character that you choose should be suitable to you, it should be suitable to the teller, but it shouldn't be an exact copy of what you like or an exact copy of the teller. You want to choose a character that you can pull off, that you can perform, but you also want it to not be exactly like you. Otherwise, there's no development in characterization. So those are the 5 tips that I have for you guys. I hope that was helpful. If you guys would like any more help with your monologues or anything else, I would love to work with you guys, and I'm excited to see what you guys do in this upcoming season.